What's up everyone, Eric here with LiquidFanTV, and hot off the heels of the Split 2 playoffs from Stockholm, we're already jumping right into the championships, which might be the most generic name for a finals ever, but with $2 million on the line and a little bit of LAN experience under our belts now, Team Liquid is poised to place really well in this tournament, perhaps even take it. So, who are the players that kind of brought our team to the top in such a short period of time, and what does the tournament look like for Team Liquid? Well, two pretty good questions, and hopefully this video will address them, starting with our newest player, Guild. And if this kid isn't eating a pile of stroopwafels or double fisting some glizzies, then he's probably obliterating the server on the sticks. I swear, his timeline is like watching some 2011 MLG countdown hosted by like Chris Puckett, because it's just highlight after highlight of insane frags, one clips, clutches, 1v3s, you name it, and Guild's probably doing it. And it's not just like he's doing it in ranked. If you watch our official matches, you'll see Guild is making some of the best players in the world look like absolute bots. He's easily become one of the best controller players in the scene in a relatively short period of time. And despite being such a young player with zero LAN experience, he showed up and did his job perfectly at the Split 2 playoffs. I think his raw aim and his ability to get us good entry damage is just the tip of the iceberg, though. His willingness to grow and learn after each game. He's always excited to talk about, what they could have done better, how he could have played something better. He's always excited and motivated to play Apex, and it just practice, it just makes him a player that any fan can be proud to watch. And really, it's such a treat watching this kid sometimes. I mean, the things he's able to do just don't really make sense. Next up, we've got the Apex Predator himself from the Split 2 playoffs. It's fun. He's an absolute master of movement in Apex, and he plays Gibraltar, a legend that you don't really associate with strong movement mechanics. But he manages to do it. He seemingly just like floats around the server. The way he moves around in these fights is always so interesting to watch. And not only that, he's got great vision for fights. I feel like he always manages to angle out opponents. He finds cracks, or he knows about these little sight lines to get some important chip damage or to help Guild with some of that entry damage. And alongside that, he also reads fights exceptionally well. If you watch the point of view during matches, even if it's not fun himself you're watching, you'll hear him making great calls. For example, in the Split 2 playoffs, he had a great idea to kind of fake the bubble and bait the EMP. And, that just allowed us to take that fight very easily. Very interesting to kind of hear him approach that fight. Team Liquid was on board. They absolutely dominated right after that. And importantly as well, he's always keeping things lighthearted within the team. I think that's very important in a momentum-based game like Apex Legends. You always want to stay positive. You can have a really rough loss and turn it around and have an absolutely dominant win, but you really need, those positive players to really help rally the team. Lastly, we've got the player that's been on the roster for the longest period of time. Of course, it's our captain, our in-game leader, Nocturnal. He debuted for us back in the preseason invitational in 2019, and he's still here leading the squad. I think it's extremely difficult for anyone to stand out next to Fun and Guild, but I don't know, Nocturnal somehow manages to put up significant damage and kill numbers while also handling most of the in-game calling. He's a menace on those longer range weapons, the Sentinel, the Kraber. But not only that, part of his strength as an in-game leader are the trust that he places in Guild and Fun. They give him the confidence to take the fights on their terms, and I think that's a very important part of being able to craft a plan and maintain the consistency that's needed to win Apex games. Battle Royales as a genre are very much reliant on making the best situation out of what you got. There's times where you simply can't win a match, but Nocturnal is someone who very often will create a plan to get the most out of our game. I remember, Split 2 playoffs, he unfortunately died as we were trying to rotate into circle, and he made this incredible call to just go for the res in the center zone. He was just certain that nobody was going to watch them do it. Manages to do it, and then, we just kind of carried that momentum, got a few kills after that, and it's calls like that that are just really important as an in-game leader to kind of help you just get those extra few points that normally, less experienced in-game leaders probably wouldn't award your team. So, with all that being said about our players, what does the tournament look like for other teams, or who might be the strongest competition alongside us? Obviously, there's a lot of really great teams here. I think going into it, we're probably going to be looking at Alliance, Optic, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Crazy Raccoon. I know, they are kind of new coming in here, but Alliance has absolutely dominated Europe for quite a long period of time. They had a very consistent Split 2 playoffs. I think, unfortunately, they did struggle a little bit at the end. Coming into the championship, I think they're really hungry to show how strong of a team they can be. Similar to them, Optic, they had a very strong split 2 playoffs again alongside us. Unfortunately, they did seem to struggle a little bit at the end, so I think they will also feel like they have something to prove. They've got some incredible players. And then lastly, like I said, Crazy Raccoon, it's a little bit out from left field. I think some fans might feel like it's a bit of a stretch to rate them this highly, but Ras and Selly are incredibly mechanical players. They've been at the top of their scene for a very long time now. And if they can properly click and perform as a team again, there's a really good chance that they will be one of the strongest teams individually, potentially challenging for a top spot. Again, tons of strong teams here. If you invest in the Scrimbucks, you'll be probably putting all of them into TSM, who has been looking great. Not afraid to run a new lineup. NRG, C9, AD. Again, a lot of really, really top contenders here. But I tend to rate the consistent teams higher, and that's why I feel like at least Optic and Alliance are probably our biggest threats. So, bit of a quick preview. I think with that out of the way, it's looking like a really great tournament for us. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch. Apex is pretty viewer friendly for fans of just one org. So if you're a Liquid fan, you only want to watch Liquid and you're like, it's a battle royale. They do have a command center that lets you only watch Team Liquid. You can listen in on their comms. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot easier to kind of understand the game that way, I find. And if you're going to watch the games, our first match kicks off, I think, July 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern. It'd be great to see more Liquid fans in the chat because this squad is just a ton of fun to watch, very highly skilled, and it's entirely possible that we can win the whole thing, and it'd be amazing to be there alongside, either at the event or in chat. So I hope you guys enjoy the event. I hope you come down to watch, and thanks again for checking out the video.
What are we doing right now?
Hi, and welcome to ALGS. This is Team Liquid. We are routing in a corner, not in zone, playing a comp we never play on Stormpoint, and we're going crazy. We're going crazy. Currently, first place in the match point, Game 7. Welcome, Sweden, Stockholm. Thank you for watching.